graph of cosine started from 1, 0, minus 1, 0, and 1, from 0 to 360. How to sketch the graph of reciprocal of cosine, which is sec x. Where is the asymptote lines? At 90, because reciprocal of 0 will be is infinity, and 270. The vertical line, another asymptote line at 270, then will reflect about straight line 1 to be up and reflect about negative 1 to be down. This part reflected up will be like this. The second part reflected about negative 1 will be like this.
Like the sine graph.
The next part reflected up will be like this. Now, if we remove graph of sine, you will get graph of sec. If this will be x-axis, and this will be y-axis. This is the graph of sec only, without drawing cosine. Clear? If we back to the graph of sine and its reciprocal again, the graph of sine started from 0, 1, 0, minus 1, 0. How to sketch a graph of cosec? الاسمتوت line at 0, at 180, and 360. And reflects up about 1 and down at negative 1. How? This part at 1 reflected up, and second part reflected down. This is the graph of cosec. This is the graph of cosec. Now we'll sketch graph of tan. Do you remember tan graph? الاسمتوت line of tan at which part? At which values? What else? Because of what?
Because tan أنا بقول لك tan 0
When tan is equal to 0,
tan 0 equal 0.
180, 270, and 360.
Tan to any multiple of 90 is not true.
Because tan is sine over cosine, so sine 90 is, and the cosine 90 is, so number over 0 is infinity. So at 90 and at 270. Then how to sketch the graph of 10 now after the asymptote line at 90 and 270? This is 10. If this is the first time to sketch a 10 graph, first we'll try to form a table for the values of 10, x and y. 0, 90, 180, 270, 360. 10 0 is mode 7, right? Mode 7. If you write 10 or if you write it sine x over cosine x, correct? At 0 is what? At 0 error? At 0. 0. I prefer to use it 45. But if you take it 90, infinity, 180, infinity, انت كنت فين يا اخويا؟ ها؟ معايا؟ ليه انت شغال الايام دي يا ابني؟ استنى اما اشوف هو بس الريكورد عشان اعرف اتكلم. ها؟ at 0 is what? At 90.
0 error, 45 1.
45 is 1. 45 is 1. 90 0. Negative 1, right? See?
135 negative 1.
Your curve will be like this.
180 error.
Infinity, then 1, then 0, negative 1, and infinity. Right? In 90 انت استعملت الكالكوليتور 1 over 10 or cosine over sine. This is what I told you. Please, yes, use the cosine over sine. No. As I told you before, when you use your calculator for cotan, write it cosine over sine.
So why is this? Why is it different?
The program for the calculator is not. I will explain. Type the second part at 270 is 0, right? Before one at 2 to 5 is 1 and negative 1, so the curve of cotan will be like this. Clear? Comparing between graph of 10 and graph of cotan. Please practice graphs sine, cosine, tan, cotan, sec, cosec, and change the range. The range from 0 to 360. If I ask you to sketch from negative 360 to 0, will be same. The graph, the asymptote line will be at negative 180, asymptote line at negative 360. This is the last time I will repeat quiz for anyone. Please. When I say quiz, by comparing between graph of cosine and its reciprocal, quick review about the graphs again. This is the graph of sine and graph of cosec. Then graph of cosine with graph of sec. And this is graph of tan and graph of cotan. Your friend asked why we write 1 over 0 is infinity and 1 over infinity is 0. 1 over 0 and infinity. 0 0 I will explain why 1 over 0 is infinity. How come infinity is large more than any value? Infinity is more than any value. If you say 1 million, infinity is more than 1 million. How come 1 over 0 become the big value? If we use, instead of writing 0, is 0.1. 1 over 0.1 is equal what?
10.
Is equal to 10. Clear? Because 0.1 is 1 over 10, multiply both sides by 10. So 1 over 0.1 is 10. If we reduce the value of the denominator to be 0.01, the answer will be 100. If we increase the denominator more, if we decrease the denominator, the value of division will be increased, right? If we decrease the value of the denominator, so the value of division will be more. So if we change it now to be 0.000001, so the answer will be what? 1 million. If we decrease it to be 0, if we reduce the minimum value, so there will be the highest value, which will be is infinity. Clear? If we switch now, if we say 1 over 10, you will say 0.1. Top 1 over 100, 0.01. If you increase the denominator, the value decreased. If we increase it to be million, will be 0.00001. If we increase it to be infinity, so the answer will be 0. So please, from now, 1 over 0 is infinity, 1 over infinity, and infinity will be 0. Yeah. Inshallah, we'll study this in details for the calculus, and this called limits, how to find the limits of values, limits of function. Inshallah, اللي يكمل mathematics بإذن الله. الديفرنشيشن هو أصلا الكونسبت بتاع الديفرنشيشن, but it's not included in our syllabus. But I يعني advise you to go through for this part, especially the limits. Study the limits before university, inshallah. If we have time at the end of the year, inshallah, I will explain it to you. How to get cotan, how to get sec, how to get cosec, just to find reciprocal of sine. So when I ask about cosec, root 2 over 1. Sec, root 2 over 1. Cotan, 45, root. Tomorrow, inshallah, I will explain 30, 60, and 45.